Welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, aka Uncle Tex, aka Professor Tex. Before we get started, you guys know the drill. Subscribe to the page, share, like. Any questions, any comments, leave them down below. Any suggestions, leave them down below. You see the picture right there. Big Rob Gronkowsk is going to call it a career, as he said last week. I gave it a little time. I was going to do this right off the break when he said this, but I did that last time back in, I think, 2019, and the Joker didn't retire. He ended up, he stayed out for a year and then came back in the 2020 season and whatnot. Gronk, first ballot Hall of Famer, top 5 tight end. Period. Let's go through the numbers. Without no delay, let's go ahead and go through the numbers and whatnot. I am not going to rank. A lot of guys would like to, I'm sure probably New England fans want to put Gronk as the best tight end that ever played. I'm not putting him up there because Gronk had a lot of issues with injuries. As a matter of fact, Gronk missed altogether 31 games. Okay, 31 games. That's equivalent to 2 seasons. 2 seasons and a game. Now, he did retire, which gave him an opportunity to get back. When he came back, after some rest, he came back, played all 16 games, 45 receptions, 623 yards, and 7 touchdowns, and he ended up getting a ring for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and whatnot. You look at Gronk and what Gronk did. If you remember, Mike Dicker used to be on the NFL, when the NFL shows that was on ESPN. And he said after his 2010 season, he said once this kid realizes, and this is going into the 2011 season, he said once this kid realizes that they can't hit him like getting hit before 2010, 2009, and years before that, once this kid realizes that, he said this kid's going to be unstoppable. Well, the coach was exactly right. Gronk pulled out having five Pro Bowls, four times All Pro first team. All the time, pretty much every time he was a Pro Bowl, he was the first team All Pro. He was the best tight end in the game. Gronk is a 4-time Super Bowl champ. He has All-Decade team for 2010. Comeback Player of the Year. He had an injury, I think, had to do with his knee or something like that or whatever and whatnot. Gronk is right up there and whatnot. Gronk is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I will not put him as number 1 due to the injuries. Had Gronk continued on his prowess and stayed healthy and putting up the amount of numbers that he put up, Gronk would probably be considered the greatest tight end. But that thing goes to, but that title ends up going to Tony Gonzalez. Gonzalez played 17 years in the league. He has 4,000 yards seasons when he went over 1,000 yards. He also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons where he went over 900 yards. Gronk, for the most part, if he did 1,000, if he didn't do 1,000, it was 500 to 600, and 800 here and there. But for the most part, 600 yards is what he's going to pretty much average after the 1,000 yards that he did not get. Gonzo has shattered the record books for everything and whatnot. You're talking about someone with a 14-time Pro Bowler and a six-time All-Pro. He's more or less Jerry Rice at the tight end, and you can't get past that. Unfortunately, he played. His best quarterback may have been Trent Green. That's it. And then a young Matt Ryan that he had for the last 4 or 5 years of his career when he went to play in Atlanta and whatnot, when you thought his career was basically over with. Matter of fact, I like to do this. If you go back to Tony Gonzalez when he was 28 years old, he had 102 catches for 1,258 yards, 7 touchdowns. Gronk, when he was 28, which was his last All-Pro year, which was in 2017, Gronk had 69 catches for 1,084 yards and 8 touchdowns, right? That garnered him first team All-Pro and a Pro Bowl and whatnot. After that, Gronk, that was it for the next year. Injured, missed about 4 or 5 games, sat out the whole season in 2019, came back fresh as a daisy in 2020, won the Super Bowl, 45 receptions, 623 yards, and last year missed some games there as well. Another 4 or 5 games that was missed, 55 catches, 802 yards, very impressive and whatnot. But again, Gronk has been hurt, and that's always been the thing with Gronk. But he did, and he has done enough for the years when he was dominant. And I've always told you guys, my credentials for Hall of Fame, you have to at least, to be a first ballot Hall of Fame, at least you have to be the best in your business for at least half a decade. Had they played at least a decade, 9 to 10 years at best, right? If you didn't do that, you had to have done some crazy, and as far as I guess I would say revolutionize something else that no other player has basically done at that particular time, and whatnot. Make that Pro Bowl, be the top 2 or 3 at your position for at least half a decade, round out with a couple of Pro Bowls when you may have made second team, all pro, and all this other stuff, but you got to at least play that amount of time, put in that kind of work, be the top at your position, got to do some playoff games and whatnot, and just be consistent for a decade. And have some memorable games and whatnot. But we're going to go down the list here. I've already told you Tony Gonzalez is my first. Antonio Gates, who doesn't get enough press, enough credit, in my opinion. 8 Pro Bowls, 3-time All-Pro. 2004, 5, and 6, he was the best in the business and whatnot. Also, he's also the leading tight end as far as touchdowns, 116. That beats out Gonzo. Gronk's number 3. Kellen Winslow, he's the godfather of this. I've oftentimes called Kellen Winslow the Earl Campbell of his position because he came in and he just took over for a 4 or 5 year range. And Joe Gibbs with Eric Coryell and all that he did had the tight end streaking down the field. Somebody 6'5", 251 pounds. That size was unprecedented during that particular time. That's still a big size for a particular tight end now, even in today's game in 2022 and whatnot. And he was a joy to watch. Those Charger teams, joy to watch on the Channel 4 channel, on the NBC channels and whatnot and everything. That's number 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we're going to take it to the next level, we're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe and what he did as well. With everything dealing with Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe rounds my list off to that of number 5 insofar as what he was able to accomplish. He was a tweener. He had 3,000 yard seasons, always consistent on winning teams. 3 Super Bowl championships at 99, at 98 or 90 some odd yard in the playoffs when he got, to me, that is cusp that made him a first ballot Hall of Famer with 3 rings and whatnot. A veteran come over there, Baltimore, helped them get over the hump and whatnot. So Shannon is right up in there, and you can pull everybody in, whoever you want to put in after the 5, going down to 6. Probably be somebody like a Jason Witten, who would probably be 6 and 6, and the guys like the Ghost, Dave Casper, John Mackey, because John Mackey never had, I don't think the Ghost even had 1,000 yards, but then you could just round it out from there, go down from there. But yeah, absolutely. Gronk is the first ballot Hall of Famer. May as well have his jacket ready for him and whatnot, but I'm not going to put him number 2. I'm not going to put him over Gates because Gates is far more consistent, played longer and whatnot, wasn't injury prone, much like Gronk was, a part of his career and whatnot, didn't take a year off. I mean, if everybody could take a year off and whatnot and come back fresh as a daisy, yeah. But my thing is the toughness. That's what NFL stands for as far as I'm concerned and whatnot. So those are my guys right there. And like I say, man, Gronk is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Gronk is going to be in the Patriots Hall of Fame. There's no question about that. Tough, could catch, had good hands, clumsy, 6'7", almost 270 pounds, like a tackle who had hands that had some speed and whatnot. And he gets all kinds of props and whatnot over here. Gronk was a joy to watch and whatnot. Not a Pats fan. I like good, but I know good football when I see it and whatnot. And when you get right down, to it, when we're talking about Gronk and whatnot, that size, those hands, and he was money down the goal line, and he would make a big play. He would make a big block. 4 championships, 4 Super Bowl rings and whatnot that he has. Gronk is going to go down as one of the best, probably one of the biggest tight ends that ever played the position. That's the thing. I'm 6'7", almost 270 pounds. 6'6", 6'7", 265, 270 pounds. So Gronk gets all the props in the world over here at Everything Football 62. And Jordan Seal, we're going to see if he's going to stay retired unless Brady puts something in his juice and make him come back. But I believe that's going to probably be it for Gronk. But Gronk is a first ballot Hall of Famer. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. Joy to see him play and whatnot. And I guess my man's going to ride off into the sunset as well as he should. Like I tell you guys all the time, there's no greatest of all time as long as time is still going on. And like I tell you guys all the time, numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. You guys have a good one.